Yeah, so it seems like it's happening again, doesn't it? And what I mean by that is, do you remember when I started covering like a couple pieces of wedding drama, you know? And then all of a sudden TikTok kept recommending me a bunch more wedding drama, and then there was quite a lot of videos talking about it. It seems like it's happening again, except this time we're talking about books. Maybe it's that, or maybe there's just been a lot of viral situations recently regarding books, but either way, today we are talking about some book talk drama. And it's all kind of revolving around this TikToker right here called Luke Bateman. He's got 175,000 followers, and even though he has uploaded quite a few videos at this point, he hasn't actually been doing it that long. I mean, we can see here, his first video was actually on the 22nd of April, and that's kind of important to this whole situation. And in fact, let's actually play the start of his first video.
Alright, my first ever TikTok video. I'm excited. I've just been introduced to the book talk community by my friends Gracie and Carter. Shout out Gracie and Carter. Love books my entire life. Love fantasy. Fantasy is my main go-to.
So yeah, you can see he's talking about his interests. You know, he loves fantasy books. He wants to start making videos surrounding books, fantasy books in particular. And I think it's fair to say the comment section was very happy to hear this news. Like, if we just take a look, there's some comments like this one saying, "Thank you, Gracie and Carter, for bringing this fine man to TikTok, doing God's work. Do you do weddings as like the groom? Sir, respectfully, you are the fantasy." A lot of people were happy to see him, clearly. And Luke's account blew up very quickly. Like I said, he's only been doing this for about a month at this point, just over a month, and he's nearly got 200,000 followers. Now, it is worth noting that Luke did actually have some notoriety before making this TikTok account. I think specifically in Australia, he is more known. Like, if we look at the Simon & Schuster website, it says, "Luke Bateman is a multifaceted Australian media personality who has seamlessly transitioned from the rugby league field to the digital realm. A former NRL player with the Canberra Raiders, Luke retired from professional sport in 2020 and embraced quite a life in agriculture in Western Queensland. In 2023, Luke gained national attention as one of the bachelors on the Network 10's The Bachelor's Australia." So yeah, from what we're seeing here, he was known in like the rugby world in Australia, and then also was on The Bachelor, which obviously is a big show in itself. I'm sure it's probably big in Australia as well. So you might be wondering at this point, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, why has this become like a big situation? And it's all surrounding this video that Luke uploaded 3 days ago as I'm recording this. And in this video, Luke announces that he has actually signed a 2-book deal.
Hello, Book Talk. I just wanted to share some incredible news with you all. I've just signed a 2-book deal with Atria and Simon & Schuster Australia. This is a childhood dream come true for me. I've wanted to be an author my whole life, so...
And you can see in this video, Luke starts getting emotional, talking about how he feels since getting this news, wants to thank people.
It truly blows me away. After I got the call last week, I cried so much. I promised myself I wouldn't cry in this video too, but I'll show you the photo of me crying. But yeah, it just blows me away. I want to thank you all so much for. I think it was obviously everybody on here resonating with me that gave me this opportunity. So it would have been impossible. All of you have helped me to fulfill my childhood dream.
And then Luke goes on to say something that people definitely aren't very happy with, and says that he can't wait to write the book, which obviously insinuates that he hasn't started writing it yet.
So, yeah, I just thank you all so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait to write this book. It's going to be a fantasy book, an epic fantasy book. And I can't wait to put my heart on the page for all of you. And I hope that I can write a book worthy of being called one. So yeah, thank you all, and watch this space, because we got some epic fantasy coming your way.
Now, looking at the comment section, people are pretty confused about this news, right? I mean, there's literally a comment here saying, "I'm confused. How did you get a book deal with no book written?" Another comment here saying, "Let's put this in perspective, shall we? I have around the same size audience with a completely written book and series, over 10 years of experience in writing, and a platform built solely around my concept. I struggled for 3 years to even secure a literary agent. This is why I turned against traditional publishing. It's never been truly about the story written. There are so many talented and skilled authors from marginalized communities across this whole app who have put in the effort, who have worked to refine their skills, who have worked to build their platform, and yet this is what publishing prioritizes. Yikes. You as an author with a voice should be standing up and recognizing the flaw in this. If you are truly part of the community on this app, with many authors who have actually written and marketed the book getting shadowed by you." Another comment here saying, "You can't wait to write the book. How did you get a book deal?" And even more comments like this one saying, "Marketing planned. Probably was accepted for this deal before he joined TikTok, and publishers said he had no presence and needs to get himself out there first." And not only did this spark a bunch of comments, but it also sparked a bunch of response videos. Like, for example, this video by author Felicity Spencer, who actually just kind of puts text on screen with some audio. So we'll read the text. It says, "You're telling me he hasn't even wrote a book yet, and he got a book deal with a big 5 publisher, and all of us indie authors are out here begging for readers." And then we can see further in the description of this video, it says, "Be so fucking for real. This is why we need to stop the semi-attractive men who think they can use book talk for a quick check." Here's another response video from a creator called Aunt Karen, who has 1.8 million followers. And Aunt Karen goes on to say that this is the worst thing he could have done, and he's going to see a shift in his following now.
"The worst thing you could have done was hop up on TikTok and tell everybody that you signed a 2-book deal and you haven't even wrote a manuscript. And I want you to know this is not me coming for your neck. I want to be honest because you're about to see a shift. If you haven't already in the last 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see a major shift. The following you had is not going to be the following you continue to have."
And Karen goes on to say that he stepped on a lot of people to get this deal, and then also goes on to say that she personally doesn't believe he deserves the 2-book deal.
"You stepped on a lot of people's necks to get a 2-book deal. Whether it was your intention or not, it doesn't matter. I frankly don't think you deserve a 2-book deal. There are too many minorities, too many women who are out here fighting daily to try to get what you just got handed to you. And some people just get the silver spoon. That's just life. But you should have never jumped on TikTok and told everybody about it."
And then goes on to end the video by saying that Luke mistook the praise that he was getting.
"You mistook what people were giving you for that praise of reading as praise to become an author. And I have to tell you, you spit in a lot of people's faces." That's my 2.2, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments.
So as you can see, this became a big situation, right? So obviously you'd think that Luke needs to respond to this, and he did. Now Luke actually responded through a platform called Chatter AU, which is an Aussie entertainment source, as it says in the description of their TikTok account. And this is where he says that he can understand people's frustrations, he understands that he has advantages, and he wants to lift people up.
Wholeheartedly understand like how angry and resentful like these things would make people. I obviously have advantages that other people don't. How do I capitalize on those to help lift everyone up? Because I feel like, you know, dragging everyone down, dragging people down leaves everyone at the bottom. Whereas a rising tide lifts all ships. And if I can use my platform and my voice and my privilege and position in society to help uplift others, I said, like, that is what books are about. Like, there is no barrier of entry to reading and writing. Like, if you can pick up a book or pick up a pen, you can tell a story or you can read a story.
Luke then goes on to say that he doesn't know what people have been through in their lives. As you can see by the response to this news, this is clearly something very close to people's hearts. And then finishes by saying that 2 things can be true. He can feel joy for his book deal, but then also understands that there are other battles that he can help with.
I have no idea what they've been through in their life, the challenges they've faced, or, you know, the discrimination or anything that they've had in their lives. So for something to incite such a severe response in people, it's obviously like a very, very it's obviously something that's really, really close to their heart. It doesn't take anything away from me. Like, we can hold two truths at the same time. It can still be, I can still feel very satisfied, and I can still hold a lot of joy for myself, while also understanding that there are other battles being fought by people and that I can help with.
Now, also in an interview that Luke did with Yahoo, he also goes on to talk about how he got the deal. Speaking about the book deal, Luke tells us, "It's funny, I actually reached out to a publisher 6 months ago and pitched the book. I've truly wanted to write a book my whole life, especially in the last couple of years. It's been something I really wanted to do. So I reached out to a publisher and pitched the book to them, and they never got back to me," he admits. Then all of these TikToks took off, and my management company reached out to a few publishers and said, "Hey, Luke has a book that he'd like to pitch, would you be interested?" Luke surprised his now publisher by pitching not just a trilogy, but 5 books. She said, "I'd love to be able to publish all of them with you, let's get started," and yeah, that's how it came about. Now, also regarding that original response on Chatter AU, on the Chatter website, there's actually some more like quotes from the interview that we can see here. So we can see a section that's called "How Luke Bateman Wants to Use His Book Deal to Bring Attention to Marginalised Authors." Luke told Chatter that the comments encourage him to speak to marginalised authors to hear about how he can use his platform to help them. "I've actually spoken with a few people. I was speaking with a Latino woman yesterday who was sharing her story, and she was actually saying that she was just at a conference on the weekend," he said. "The authors in there were saying saying how publishers had told them to publish under different names or do stories. I won't quote because I can't remember exactly what she said, but basically do stories that would fit more into a different audience, he said. He added that the conversations he's been having have been eye-opening, and he's planning to review and promote books from marginalised authors on his book talk, which has 175,000 followers. And in quotation marks it says, I want to promote indie authors and self-published authors, reading more books that they obviously publish and promoting those, sharing those and talking about those. So yeah, that is a situation, and you can see why there would be a lot of frustrations in this, right? Like a lot of authors who have spent a decade or just years in general, like working as hard as they can to make the best books that they possibly can, working incredibly hard to get these books published, maybe not having any success with that. And then a guy from The Bachelor starts posting on TikTok, all the comments are full of people talking about how attractive he is, and then a month later he's got a 2-book deal. Of course, news like that are going to be frustrating to a lot of people, and we've seen like a lot of people are frustrated with Luke himself. A lot of people are also just frustrated with like the publishing industry. And I think obviously in hindsight, one thing that wouldn't have caused as much of a big reaction would have been if Luke was working on this book, had it written, and was pitching the books to these publishing companies, and then they decide to work with him. I think the fact that it seems like, at least according to Luke's videos, that he hasn't actually started writing the book yet is the proof to a lot of people that he only got the book deal because he's an attractive guy who's just started posting on Book Talk. Now, Luke has since posted another video on TikTok that is unrelated to this whole situation. It's actually how to encourage boys into reading. And the comment section of this video is a lot more positive. There is also still a lot of comments talking about the situation that we've been discussing throughout this video. Like, for example, there's comments like this one saying, I wonder what he's going to do with this privilege. And then on the other side, there's comments like this one saying, I just wanted to say you're allowed to succeed without feeling bad because others aren't. Congratulations on your success. Feel proud of yourself and ignore the haters. So yeah, that's the situation. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video, and I'm going to leave it there. So if you did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel where we play games, react to reality shows, stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that, that's always linked in the description. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Alright, goodbye.